Feel the power of you controlling your breathing. In through your nose and out through your mouth. You've got your legs crossed, your back straight, your eyes closed. You remember the truth. You know the truth that you were born to win, to take control of your life the way you take control of your breathing. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. So let's do that right now. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can as we begin our day today in the best way possible. Winning the morning, winning our mind, and growing our minds and our bodies. And whatever we do. So right now, let's see ourselves doing the best walk we've ever done when that music shuts off. Right here, right where we are, right where we sit. Because we know the truth. After all, we're made of truth. We're made of the same stuff the universe is made of. That's what makes you infinitely intelligent. See yourself right now doing the best walk you've ever done when that music shuts off. When that music goes off, you're going to win. You're going to make it real. You're going to make your dream, your vision, real.
Do 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 do
kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman, I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man, I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am, I'm too hot. And my band bought that money, break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop. Skip it. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you sexed and flown it. If you freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you sexed and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! It might
And decides a free kick is sufficient. Messi's back up. Xavi. Messi in on the blind side. It's Messi again! Is there no stopping him?
Morning, guys. One of the things that I've been able to have success with is in understanding the idea that you can crack the code of your mind. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that right now you have a certain amount of positive and negative thoughts in your mind. And you may be responding to more negative thoughts and actually allowing those things to get acted out. You have the power and ability to slowly, day by day, choice by choice, replace a negative thought with a positive thought and respond to positive thoughts. In other words, ignore negative thoughts. But there's a certain baseline you're at right now. So you may be more responsive to negative thoughts right now. And it may be mostly that. But you can actually figure out and be aware, as a human being, you can be aware of that, and you can crack that code and develop a new one. I hope this helps everyone. Have a great day.
How do you reignite your life? You know, if you're like ready for a big change, or you just want more vibrancy and more pop and more joy and more energy into your life so that you can actually feel happy about life, how do you do it? Especially if you've been through like a dark period of time and you're just like, I just want to turn back on, you know? Maybe you've come through a breakup or a divorce, or you've started a new business, or you just recognize like, hey, for the last 6 months, you've kind of sucked. You know, life has just not been good. It's just been like upsetting, and you're like, I need something new. I need to revivify. You know, you're in that place where you're like, I just need some new pop in my life, Brendan. How do I reignite? Well, some of you guys know I did a whole course on this with the Oprah Winfrey Network back in the day, but I've been really thinking about it lately because so many people are asking, like, okay, I feel like so much negativity. I want more positivity and joy in my life, but I also need to change, because a lot of people right now, they're in transition. You know, they had this part of their life and now the career changed. And they're like, oh, I'm in this part of my life. And they want to do it better. So this still applies to you. So how do you reignite your life? I got 4 big ideas. I call it the 4 Ps. Okay. The first way to reignite your life is not to have a midlife crisis and become a metaphor. Okay. What I mean is that most people, what they do is they think, well, I must have to move. I got to move to a whole new location. I see, Brendan, you moved to Puerto Rico. It's great. I guess I got to move my life. No, my life was already ignited. I didn't have to move somewhere to find it. You don't have to be in a new relationship, start a new career, move to that new town. Often, when we want to reignite our life, we look for these big things. Well, I'll feel good when I win the lottery or that perfect thing happens. You're waiting for that perfect thing to happen in order to feel good, and that makes you a novice in personal development. And I say that with all respect, because we all do that at some point. I can recognize time in my life. I'm like, Brendan, why didn't you feel better at that stage of your life? Because I wasn't using my mind well. And so I learned that if you want to reignite your life, don't think it has to be this big, abrupt, sudden, crazy change. Those can be great. But if those aren't well thought out, it becomes a train wreck and a midlife crisis versus an intentional new way of being. Because listen, that's how you reignite your life. An intentional new way of being. And that's what these 4 Ps are really going to be about. A new way of being for you. We don't have to change your marriage or your career. I'm not saying those things might not need to change, but you can reignite your life by starting with these 4 Ps. The first P is presence. Learning to be more present in the moment, more mindful and appreciative of what you already have that you've been missing. So many people think that they need something new to make them feel good, when I'm like, but didn't you see what your child just did? How cute was that? Or didn't you just notice that you do have more abundance than 50% of the world? Didn't you notice that today went by, no one shot at you? Nobody tried to stab you? Didn't you understand that today there was no crime in your house? Like, if that's true for you, you're lucky. And what happens is we lose our perspective and we become people who are always attached to the next moment or the previous moment, and we're not here. And I've always found that when you can learn to get in this moment, and you can breathe and use your breath to engage in this moment, and you can notice the small things in this moment and just be in the moment, that when I'm here in the now, in this moment, I will always be happier. I will always notice things. I will always feel a sense of connection with life. The reason a lot of people are unhappy and they feel like they have to reignite it is because they become disconnected. They become disconnected with themselves. They become disconnected in their relationship. They become disconnected in their career. And the only thing they're connected to anymore is their phone, right? The only time there's any presence when they're like, oh, and they've lost presence with the moment, with this breath, with this joy of being alive. Like, I hope that you realize the ultimate way to reignite your life is to first have reverence for life. And if you have reverence for life, you connect with the moment. You have fun with the moment. You dance with the moment. It's all here. It's already here. You're already alive. You already won the lottery of this crazy cosmos that all these billions of cells aligned perfectly to make you right now. Please, you forgot this moment. You forgot the magic of now, and you're looking for tomorrow to make you happy when it's right here. It's a choice, it's a decision, it's an intention, it's a reconnection with the moment each day. Stop going through the day, going through the motions. Reconnect with the minute. Take notice of your breath. Take notice of what you're paying attention to. Appreciate the small things. Be present now. Because trust me, if you can't learn to be present now, where you don't feel like life is going great, when it becomes great, you won't notice either. Trust me, I coach some of the highest level people in the world, and I always find this to be true. They have everything, and they're still not happy because they never trained themselves in the practice of presence. The second P that I think is so critical is people engagement. And that is, if you want to reignite your life, the way to do that is in your current relationships, the people you already interact with, the people you already love, the people you already lead, the people you already work with. I want you to re-engage them again. You got distracted and you thought that you know everything about them. You don't know a lot about your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, the people who you're working with. They are infinitely complex. But what you do is you shorthand them. You kind of like take them for granted. You stop asking them the questions. You stop engaging them deeply. And without depth in relationships, you'll never feel like life has its pop. Life has its pop when you're in a relationship with people, and it's this deep and real and curious thing that you honor the mystery in other people enough that you ask them questions, that you explore what they think, what they feel, what they need, what they desire. That curiosity with other people lights you up, man. But you take them for granted because you've been around them for a while. Yeah, you know your kids. Yeah, you know your husband. Yeah, you know your friends. But you don't. And once you accept that, it becomes like a curious thing again. I mean, think about all of the vibrancy and the pop that you had at the beginning of your relationship with somebody. Remember those first couple of weeks of dating? It was just like magic and fire because you're learning so much about the person. And you're just like, oh, yeah, I learned this about the person. You tell your friends, oh, she's like this, and he's like that. It's so cute. It's because you're curious about them. You didn't pretend you know everything. But so many of us take our relationships for granted. And we're missing the very thing right in front of us. Just like presence, it's right in front of you. The people in your life are there to make your life come alive. You forgot that they're a tool for that. They're an ends, they're a means, they're a experience. They are there with you and for you in your life to make life have pop. And don't blame them if they're not giving you that. Because that's what we do. Well, she's just negative. She's terrible. They don't support me, Brendan. Yes, I understand, and that might be true. But if you haven't fully tried to re-engage them and been present with them, don't expect them to do it for you. So first take ownership. Ask, have I really poured myself into these relationships? Getting to know these people and diving deep. I mean, think about when someone does move to a new town. Why is it so magical? New people they can ask questions to and get to know. Well, they had people at their house too, but they forgot to do that. So I hope that makes sense. Re-engage the people around you. There is vibe and pop there like you just can't even imagine. Third P is probably not it's not a sexy one. I gotta tell you. It's planning. Planning. The reason a lot of people want to reignite their life is because they're frustrated with where they are. They're not having the momentum behind them. They recognize they have unbelievable potential and they have not been activating it. And why? Because they have been leaving their growth, they have been leaving their momentum, they have been leaving their goals to randomness. Let's just see what happens. Every day, see what happens. Every day, see what happens. Every day, see what happens. And if every day is, I guess I'll just see what happens, guess what the odds are? In a month, nothing happened. 2 months, nothing happened again. Because the world is good at letting you sit on your laurels. The world is good at it passing you by and not bringing you opportunities. Yes, sometimes we're lucky and new things come into our lives and change us. But often, we've got to architect that. We have to strategize it, we've got to structure it, and we've got to schedule it, baby. You have to think about that. You have to take back the strategy, the structure, and the scheduling for you to get ahead. What does this mean? It means planning. It means I need to be able to show up in your house, you need to be able to open up your laptop, or show me on a wall somewhere on a piece of paper at the kitchen table. Here's my plan, Brendan. Here's what I'm excited to do. Even if all that shows me is, what's my ideal day look like? I'm trying to work towards that every day, Brendan. It doesn't have to be your mission to go to Mars. It can just be like, here's what an ideal day would look like for me. I'm going to hit it more often than not. It's just a plan. And without a plan, without knowing what your next month is about, we end up going month to month to month, flailing about. And then one day we're going, I'm kind of miserable. I don't know why. I'm like, I know why. Because you're the same as you were 5 years ago. And we all have within our heart and our soul the growth imperative. It's in us by biology, evolution, God, whatever you want to call it. We are meant to grow and to try to reach the rim of our full potential. But that can't be done without some plan. So think about, what do you want next month? What does your ideal days look like? What are the big goals and projects you want to work towards? Bust them down, put them in the calendar, start building knowledge, skills, and ability to be able to achieve those faster. And that's getting you a little momentum, because momentum makes life come back to full color. Got it? Other idea I think is really important is that as you're striving towards this, the fourth P is peaceful progress. One reason that people want to reignite their life isn't just because they didn't get where they wanted to be. One reason often is because where they got, they can't sustain it and they don't want to do it that way anymore. They burnt themselves out, they hustled themselves in the ground, they ground and ground and ground, and they were in the grind philosophy, and they cheated their relationships, they cheated their health, they cheated their joy, they stole away their presence because the way they were striving was not present, but also was not peaceful. You got to meet life with peace. Yes, there's that warrior part of us. Yes, there's that grind part of us. But if you ground yourself into exhaustion, that's why you feel like you need to reignite. That's why people love to go away to a week-long detox somewhere. Because they're like, I need to turn off the phone, I need to eat healthier, I need to work out, I need to take care of myself. Because self-care is part of peaceful progress. To take care of yourself as you are striving isn't a luxury, is a necessity for long-term performance. As many of you guys
crazy, what about to say? Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. Hot air balloon that goes space with the air like I don't Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey, clap along if you feel like that's what you want. Yo, DJ Rafi.
Gonzalo getting quickly by Xavi. It's Messi! Goal! It's brilliant.
Everybody, today Gary Vaynerchuk shares with us his third rule for success, and that is put business in perspective. So we're in the business of developing ourselves. We're in the business of creating a mindset that will allow us to feel that freedom, peace, happiness in everything we do. And he gives us a strategy that helps him. And I also use the strategy to remind me when things get really tough. He says that he imagines that even if he lost money, even if he made a great amount of money, let's say on Bitcoin or something like that, he says to himself, if he lost a family member, someone died in his family, all of that would immediately vanish, all the benefits of having all that money. So it immediately grounds him. And so I challenge you to use the same thing. In a moment, when you're having your worst time at your business or whatever it is you're doing, just remember what's really important. Life is the really important thing. Have a great day, everyone.
For 24 years of my adult life, I weighed well over 200 pounds. I say by choice because, you see, I have never accidentally eaten anything. And when I choose to eat too much today, I have chosen to weigh too much tomorrow. You can choose to set goals and realize your potential, or you can choose not to set them. Now, if you choose not to set them, you got to understand that the consequences are not going to be good down the road.
Zig Ziglar was one of the world's most popular motivational speakers. Ziglar was one of 12 children raised by a widowed mother during the Great Depression. He wrote over 25 books, including See You at the Top, and inspired millions of people around the world. In this exclusive training, Ziglar shares with us practical insights on goal setting, the secrets to unlocking the full potential of visualization, and confronts the realities of difficulties and failure. Special thanks to the Ziglar family for partnering with us to release this exclusive content on our YouTube channel. Enjoy.
Hello, I'm Zig Ziglar, and I'm really excited that we're able to spend this time together. In a few minutes, this empty studio will be filled with hundreds of people who, just like you, believe that to get ahead in life, you got to have goals. During this program, we'll look at why goals are important, how to set them, and how to achieve them. The hour you spend with this tape may be the most important time you'll ever spend in your life. Now, join me and our studio audience as we take those first steps towards a happier and more productive life. Do this, and I'll see you at the top. Wow, what enthusiasm. My goodness alive. Read something the other day you're going to be enormously intrigued with. Read where every third person was either remarkably handsome or amazingly beautiful. Now, what I'd like to get you to do is look directly at the person on your left. No, left. Now look directly at the person on your right. And if it ain't either one of them, well, that ought to get us off to a good start here. Just as a matter of curiosity, how many of you have ever either heard me speak before or else this is your first time? Can I see your hands? Okay. Hey, we're with it here tonight. That's great. The name Howard Hill will probably ring a bell in the minds of some of you, but not all of you. Howard Hill was a good Alabama boy. He was an archer. Many people said he was the greatest of all time. He entered 287 archery tournaments. He placed first 287 times. As a youngster, I've seen newsreels of Howard Hill. I've seen him where they were filming him killing a Cape buffalo, the toughest of all game animals to bring down with a bow and arrow. He killed a bull elephant. He killed a large shark under about 15 feet of water. As a youngster, I've seen newsreels where from 50 feet he would shoot at a bullseye and split it precisely in the center. And then he would take his second arrow, and with the second arrow he would split the first one. An amazing demonstration of skill. Now, I have never shot the bow and arrow professionally, but I am an instructor par excellence. I think that's French, which means I'm really good. But I'm not absolutely certain of that. As a matter of fact, I am so good as an instructor of archery that I could spend 20 minutes with any man or woman in this audience this evening, and provided your eyesight is normal and your health is good, at the end of 20 minutes, I would have you hitting the bullseye more consistently than Howard Hill could have hit it the best day of his life. Provided we had, of course, first blindfolded Howard Hill. And then turn him around a couple of times so he would have no idea in which direction he was facing. And you kind of snicker and you say, well, Ziglar, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard. Why, of course, we could shoot better than him, because how in the world could a man hit a target he could not even see? That's a pretty good question. Here's one even better. How can you hit a target you don't even have? The question, my friends, is, do you have your targets? Have you clearly identified what it is that you want in life? Have you set a date as to when you expect to get it? Have you identified the obstacles you must overcome in order to get there? Have you identified the people, the groups, the organizations you need to work with in order to get there? Have you spelled out what it is you need to know to reach your objective? Have you developed a plan of action, and have you written it down as to what's in it for me? Why do you want to reach the goal in the first place? You see, the problem with most people is they're what we call a wandering generality in life. But the truth is, you can never achieve greatness unless you become a meaningful specific. You see, the basic problem is most people, when they're working on their job, they get to thinking, you know, I really ought to be spending time at home with my family. And then when they're at home with the family, they get to thinking, you really ought to be out there working for my family. And so when they're out there working for their family, their mind is back home. And when they're back home, their mind is back out there in the field. And then they tell everybody, well, I don't ever have time to do anything. No wonder you're always traveling. You see, the basic problem is not lack of time, it is lack of direction. We all have exactly the same amount of time, whether we're a millionaire or a pauper. All of us have 24 hours every single day. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, we must have goals if we're going to do anything. Goals do a lot of things. For example, they enable you to chase the blues away. I've never known anybody who was truly depressed who had specific and long-range goals. And what goals do is they create activity. And you see, activity, as you work towards reaching them, creates the very excitement which you need in order to accomplish or reach your objectives. The psychologists put it this way: logic will not change an emotion, but action will. And as you get busy working towards these dreams of yours, and yes, you absolutely must have your dreams, ladies and gentlemen, and what we're going to do is look at the ways you build a foundation underneath those dreams. Several years ago, they did an experiment with a number of college students. And in this particular experiment, they let them go to sleep, and they hooked these brain machines up to them. With these brain machines, they could determine precisely within a matter of seconds when the student went to sleep. Then they could tell when that student started to dream. And as the student would start to dream, they would awaken him or her. And then they'd let them go back to sleep, and that is no problem. But when they started to dream, they would awaken them again. And with those brainwave machines, they can tell exactly when they start to dream. At the end of one night of this kind of treatment, many of the students were nervous and fidgety. At the end of 2 nights of this kind of treatment, where they had a reasonable amount of sleep, but no dreaming, they became very irritable and very short and very cross. At the end of just 3 nights of a reasonable amount of sleep, but no dreaming, they could tell that some of them were headed for some psychological difficulties. And so what they did was they aborted the experiment. Now, about 24 hours later, most of the students were back to normal. Within a week, all of them had returned 100%. But the experiment proved something very conclusively, and that's this: when you're asleep, ladies and gentlemen, you need your dreams. I'm here to tell you that when you're wide awake, you also need your dreams. You must have your goals. You'll never make it as a wandering generality. You must become a meaningful specific. If you're going to work tomorrow because that's what you did yesterday, you're not going to be as good tomorrow as you were yesterday, because now you're 2 days older and no closer to the goal which you do not have. You can't make it as a wandering generality. Most people understand you got to become a meaningful specific. It reminds me of an experiment done some little while ago by Jean-Henri Fabre, the great French naturalist. He took a number of processionary caterpillars, so named because they follow each other in a procession. And he lined them around a flower pot until they formed a never-ending circle. And they started going round and round 24 hours that first day. And then they went the next day and the next. And by about the third or the fourth day, he put some pine needles into the center of that flower pot. That's the food of the processionary caterpillar. They kept going round and round, 7 full days and 7 full nights. They went round and round until they literally dropped dead from starvation and exhaustion. With an abundance of food less than 6 inches away, they had starved to death because they confused activity with accomplishment.
You ready? I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Let's go! We shake it off. Now turn around. We don't let no bad vibes get in our way. Put your hands up in the air. When we dance, we don't care. Wave left, now right. Then turn around and one more time.
Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right. Then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right. Then bring it all back to the other side.
Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right. Then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right. Then bring it all back to the other side. Some days you'll feel like you're on top, but some days go down like a big old flop. But I know what to do when I'm feeling blue. I just gotta feel the groove. Don't care what others say.
shake it off, turn around, don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around, don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side.
Shake it up, turn around, don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around, don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. We shake it up, now turn around. We don't let no bad vibes get in our way. Put your hands up in the air. When we dance, we don't care. Wave left, now right, then turn around and one more time.
Shake it off, turn around, don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around, don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side.
Shake it up, turn around, don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around, don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side.
Shake it off,
Turn around.
put your hands up, wave left to right, turn it around. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off.
Now turn around. We don't let no bad vibes get in our way.
Done. And it's Messi! Alves.
Morning, guys. As we live, laugh, and love our way to infinite mind wealth, one of the quotes that always helps me, and I hope this helps you, is Les Brown's. He uses it often in his speeches, and that is that whatever hard times come, whatever difficulties come, they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. And I know it's something that has been used by many of the wisest people, and we have to remember it, because in a moment we can make it can seem like it's everything. All the negative things that are happening to us are never going to end. It's always going to be like that. But we have to remember that life is full of change, and it's all passing, it's all flowing. And so we have to have that awareness and then understand that how we respond in that moment to that will allow us to gain strength from it if we choose to. So hopefully that helps you. It's helped me so much. Have a great day, everyone.
The most successful people, what they focus on is not time management, it's priority management. They manage their priorities. They get really good at the things that matter every single day. Now, how can you apply this again? Well, some of the most successful people out there, yes, they have a to-do list, but you're not going to get through that 200, 300, whatever amount of items that grows on your to-do list every single day. But what are the 3 or 4 things on that list that will give you a big win? So when you came home at the end of the day and somebody asked you, how was your day? You're like, I crushed it. I won today because I got those few things done. Another thing I noticed with working with high performers, high mental achievers, is they have a not to do list. They're very clear about the things they're not going to spend time with, because you have to say no to good to say yes to great.
Need motivation?
Watch the Top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because running the business is hard, and waking up every day and getting to work when you're all by yourself is hard. And the thing that saved me, that continues to inspire me, motivate me, give me hope, inspiration, ideas, is looking at the stories of people who've done a lot more than me. And I learn strategies, I get motivation, and it gets me to believe in myself to go off and attack the day. And so I hope this video inspires you to do the same as well. So today let's learn from one of the best, Jim Quick, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy.
There's a great book, which I recommend many, as you've noticed, Good to Great by Jim Collins, basically saying that if you're tired and burned out, maybe you're saying yes to way too many things. And it's like having too many browsers open on your computer. Even if you minimize them, it's still taking up memory, it's still taking up energy, it's still taking up some unconscious focus and awareness, and you wonder why you're tired all the time, or you wonder why you can't focus. So you want to say no to a lot of things so you can say yes to the things that matter. Part of your filter could be heck yes or heck no. If you get an opportunity and somebody comes to you and say, hey, what about this? Or hey, do you want to grab a dinner here? Or what about this opportunity? If you don't feel full on that it's a heck yes, maybe you should be saying heck no. And you want to say no more than you say yes. And as you become more and more successful, that becomes a challenge because you have opportunity stress, right? The more you grow, the more you succeed, the more opportunities and offers that come your way. But you want to remain focused. And how do you do this? Well, I always suggest to people, start with this. The most important thing is to keep the most important thing the most important thing. When you look at a word like priorities, it's only been plural, like multiples, over the past 3 decades, the past few decades. Prior to that, it was always singular. It was always priority. Priority is the one thing that matters in your life, or in your work, or in your relationship, or in your health. But as we grow, right, and technology, and we have all these demands, everything becomes important. It's kind of like somebody who's reading and they're highlighting everything so the book glows in the dark. That's not what you want to do, because if you make everything important when you're learning and you're studying and you're thinking in your life, then nothing becomes important.
Rule number 2 is become limitless.
This is the key to become limitless. And limitless is not about being perfect. It's about advancing and progressing beyond what you believe is possible. Does that make sense? Now, there are 3 areas you have to unlimit in order to reach more of your power, reach more of your potential, reach more of your profitability, your peace. So imagine everybody, if it's about advancing, I'm gonna turn this into a workshop, is that okay? All right. Imagine there's an area of your life where you're not advancing. Like, be honest with yourself. You don't have to share it, but what area of your life do you feel like you're not progressing in? Like you feel stuck in your relationship, in your personal health, in your finances. What area, if you're honest, are you stuck? Your memory, maybe, your focus, your reading speed, right? Where do you feel stuck? Where do you feel like you're in a box? So just imagine a box, right? And a box is 3-dimensional, right? 3 dimensions, those 3 dimensions are the 3 forces that contain that box and that keep you stuck. Those are the same 3 forces that if you expanded it, your box would expand, right? You would become more limitless. And so those 3 forces I represent by 3 circles. So if you imagine 3 circles, this is, what do they call this? A Venn diagram, right? Venn diagram. These are represented by 3 M's. And these are the 3 M's that will change your life and change your learning forever. Now, the first M, or one dimension of that box that keeps you contained and actually could unleash your power, is your mindset. Now, you hear this a lot. Vishen was talking about growth mindset yesterday. But this is where you don't think something is fixed, right? People come to me all the time and they'll say, I'm too old. Or they'll come to me, Jim, say, Jim, I can't wait for you to talk. I have trouble remembering people's names. And I always say, stop. If you fight for your limits, you get to keep them. Does that make sense? If you fight for the limits, they're yours. And so in your mindset, these are how I define mindset, because there are a lot of speakers on mindset. And I could put people in different boxes and categories. So that's what I do when I learn, because I need to know, what areas where I need improvement. Mindset is, I'm defining as your attitudes and assumptions about something. Your attitudes, assumptions about something. So your mindset could be your attitudes, assumptions about money, right? If your attitudes, assumptions about money, like You don't feel like you're worth a certain amount. You think that money is evil, whatever it is. Will that keep you in that box? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Yes, right? Because your behaviors are going to be determined by your beliefs. You write this down. All behavior is belief driven. All behaviors are belief driven.
And once again, legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed, focused on our breathing, back to our breathing. That powerful force keeping us alive, keeping our energy flowing. And we don't really think about it. We never really attempt to control our breathing, most of us anyway. But we were born to do that too. To remember that in any moment, we can take charge of it, the way we take charge of our breathing. Same way we take charge of our mind, our thoughts. So reflect back on today. How did you do? Are you satisfied with your work ethic? Are you satisfied with your determination? Did you use it in its fullness, its beauty? Our determination is invisible. We cannot put our finger on it. We cannot see it, but it is there. We have the power to determine what we will think and what we will do. Today, we've won the morning. We've won our minds, and therefore we can win our day and our life. One breath at a time, one thought at a time.
Thank you.